deserve. up eventually. All of the nights that I felt cheap. If everyone could sing right along, what else would we have in mind? 'Cause happiness is singing your best friend's song. For the ones we'll always love. We are waiting for the West Coast and the East Coast to feel us. Turn it down, 'cause we'll be close to another town. I wish I could say the ones we love would never come. See, that's why we keep going on. 'Cause happiness is singing your best friend's song. For the ones we'll always love. We are waiting for the West Coast, the East Coast to feel us. And you always wanted more, but I couldn't give it to you, could I? You said that life was a trip, that's you to watch it drown. And now the ties of a family is what slowly drips down from every last cell that's beating me down.
Good morning. Hey, look who remembered to tap his mic. I hope you guys are doing good today. Doodles, good to see you. Hello, YouTube. Hello, Twitch. Lurkers, good to have you. Boosting my measly metrics and listening to me in the background so that I can be the one who guides you through your morning. I'm happy that you chose me and not, I don't know, ASMR farting or anything. Is ASMR farting a thing? It probably is. Let's be honest here. It definitely is. There's like zero chance it's not. Ert, good to see you. As my peeps pile in. Oh man. So we'll be doing politics today. I think I figured out what I'm going to do. I think the plan is to go back to the old schedule. Jaru, Disco Mom, Dude Lord, good to see you. I almost called you Dude. Brain Worky. I only tune into ASMR farting on Tuesdays. That's why you weren't here yesterday. I'm just kidding. Mark one day. I don't shame anyone for not showing up to this stream. And you don't owe me any explanation for where you were. Mark the other day. Where the fuck were you? Were you cheating on me? I'm just kidding. I still stand by the first statement. I hope you're all doing well. Dude Lord, yeah. If only you meant literally. I already forgot what I said, so I don't even know what that's in reference to. God, you gotta love ADHD. I hopped in and said hello, at least. Like I said, not shaming you. Not actually shaming you. Making a joke. We do jokes. This is reasons why I say I'm not that funny. Because like everyone thinks I'm serious when I'm actually joking. So the true joke is the friends we made along the way. Essentially. And stuff. And also things. I don't know. Oops, is mine? Yeah. There we go. I was meaning about your title with Walker. Yeah, it's God, that was funny. God, that is so funny. It's like I'm just sitting here and I'm like, man, why is everyone holding up this guy as like a Christian conservative paragon? Why is this happening? Why are people buying into this bullshit? By the way, we did get some donations off stream yesterday. They amounted to about $20, and oh, Gritty, thank you for the dono. I don't know why the alert didn't pop up, but it popped up on my phone. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the $27. That should get us out of the negative. That's the sad part is we have to work to get out of the negative first, and from there we can start actually building up the money to hopefully pay off our car note. Do you know if any pro-life organizations have denounced him? No, none of them have. Like, and we'll get into why. None of them have left him. The thing is, it doesn't matter what the Trumpers say, because they live by the classic belief of that fucking Newt Gingrich had. I just realized I didn't turn my light on, so I look a little red because of these red blinds. Where he told his wife that he cheated on while she was in chemotherapy for cancer, when she called him out for promoting good family Christian values and not abiding by them. It doesn't matter what I do, it matters what I say. Yep. And that is literally modern day evangelical conservative Christianity. You know, the thing that's running our Supreme Court. That's the thing you don't get. They don't care that he paid for abortions. They care that he's on the face eating leopards team. Yep. There isn't a right winger alive that practices anything they preach. Yep. Not a one. Not a single one. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Yes, I'm on government assistance. What are you talking about? I need that. I mean, I'm not saying take it away. Oh, yeah, Gritty. I saw the alert didn't go off on here, but I did get the notification on my phone. I really appreciate it. That got us out of the negative, at least. I think. Our dunking on Christians today, my religious trauma says hell yes. We kind of do that every day because it's synonymous with right wingers at this point. They're just, there's no daylight between them. I pay my taxes, gets arrested for tax evasion. I don't want to pay my taxes. It's gonna go to wars. But you need to pay your taxes so it can go to this war started by a Republican president. Dunking on religious zealots is praxis. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. Let me show you this exchange that I just saw on the old twitter.com. Okay? I hope you've prepared yourself. I'm gonna read, before showing you, I'm gonna read you the first tweet. It's from Nick Adams, you know, the Australian guy who's LARPing as a good long-term Christian American conservative. Yeah. He said the Democrat Party has always been racist. I know what you're thinking. They say that shit all the time. That's not that shocking. It's stupid, but it's not shocking. Somebody replied, name a Republican civil rights leader of the last 50 years. Which, fuck yeah. You're 100% right. Good job. Good job. One person replied, in earnest. They're serious about this. They're serious about this. They mean this. They're not doing this as a bit. Candace Owens. Okay. What? Yeah. It's I really need to program in the fucking Curb Your Enthusiasm theme, don't I? Motherfucker says Candace Owens. I'm gonna go ahead and take a guess. Yep. That is the whitest of white dudes. Put in contrast his whiteness to his black lab. And he's a Q nutter, of course. Look at this poll. The worst stand-in president is Edith Wilson or Jill Biden. Jill Biden's running everything. But if Jill Biden was running everything, I don't think they would have let go failing so hard on codifying Roe. That's the whitest white to ever honky. True. Calm down with the slurs, Lance from the stairs. I'm just saying. I'm white. That dude is white. Fucking wish Jill was running things. I don't know how much better it would be. I have no idea. I have no idea. But that was just my fun, and I've turned to a classic reply that I've had regarding this level of absolute utter delusion. What are you high on so I can avoid it? Come to think of it, are we getting in trouble for allowing the H word? Probably. I would guarantee that if somebody were to report me for saying the H word, I would get a ban on fucking Twitch. I'm not sure we can allow that saltine talk. Yeah. We need to make sure that when we are talking about people of soup accoutrement color, we not use any specific slurs. You can mute me. My apologies. You're fine. Because the key there is that someone's got to report me. So just don't report me. I'm amazed that it takes a lot to just like at this point make my jaw drop out of my mouth. Like this. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Since we're blaming everything on Biden, wagging the finger of recrimination at you. Oh, I love this guy.
Bunch of traffic on the freeway. Hey man, sorry we're late. You know, there was a bunch of traffic on the freeway, and that's just how it is since Biden, you know. Am I right? If it wasn't for my morbid obesity and Linda's gimp leg, we'd be walking because of them gas prices. Biden. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get the 2 for $20. What's the tax on that? Yeah, Biden.
Biden. The only thing I don't like is I've talked about this. How I wanna respect my boyfriends and try and move away from using southern accents to mean Trump supporter. It's been a while since I pulled out good old Midwest Dave. By the way, study came out correlating excess COVID deaths and Republican Party membership. Do tell. Ooh, I'm gonna have to read this later. Yeah, I'll read that on my own time. Yeah. Yep, Cal Zussy. But it gets worse. Cause it's me. Calzussi just showed up because the Igloo went ahead and shared it on Twitter. And it popped up on the old timeline, which I saw it last night. I liked it. Are you ready for the Oogie Boogie? Soak that in. Let's just go ahead and zoom in on that. It audibly shuddered. Literally, I pulled this up because I wanted to say the words Oogie Boogie out loud. And I've now said it twice, and it has not stopped being fun. I love it. Oogie Boogie. That's not a camel tussie, it's a Mosi knuckle. If you think about it, if you think about what Oogie Boogie is, you're only more disgusted. Up until this point, I've heard only of camel toe. Now someone has showed me elephant toe. I could never see this. Just take a moment to remember what Oogie Boogie was. It doesn't make things better. In fact, it makes the whole dynamic between him and
Big
Sally.
Wanna fight about it?
Lord
Grosser.
Fright has gifted a tier 1 sub to Incomsicom. They have given 340 gift subs in the channel.
Lord, thank you for gifting sub to Ancom. Appreciate you. Ancom, enjoy that sub. Up until this point... Oh, wait, I already read that. By the way, Ancom, it's good to see you. I'm just forgetting the stuff that I'm doing as I'm doing it. We remember this whole thing from yesterday. I forgot to... I didn't get into the quotes because I didn't want to spend too much time on it. But... So... It's... This headline is hilarious when you think of the fact that Kanye West called Black Lives Matter a scam while wearing the shirt that was made to be sold as a means to shut up black protesters who are supporting Black Lives Matter, who are against police brutality. Like, literally, it was made to be like, we're gonna capitalize off the popularity of this that we hate. And originally it was All Lives Matter, but now it's just they're just jumping to... All Lives Matter was the already racist response. White Lives Matter was like the complete fringe, I'm not even trying to hide that I'm a white supremacist response. And now, what do I keep saying about the Republican Party? It's just the mainstream. And the funniest part about it, that's literally a scam. There is no White Lives Matter movement unless you consider just white supremacy as a whole as a White Lives Matter movement. There was no All Lives Matter movement or protests. Never happened. They literally just created the merch as a response to a thing that existed purely out of protest, organically. In other words, White Lives Matter having a shirt is literally a scam. And it just got boosted by one of the most famous rappers of our time. Yeah. And he thinks that Kanye doesn't know what the word scam means. I think if somebody explained it to him, he'd be like, oh, so like what I do with my shoes or my fashion every year. Where I just release the shit that no one's gonna wear, but it still makes me a bunch of money because I'm famous. Oh, I'm a scam artist. Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know why that's bad. That probably would be the conversation. He'd probably be like, in fact, I'm the best scam artist that's ever lived. I'm a true artist of the scam. All right, Kanye. All right. So yeah. They don't want to spend too much time on that because why spend all my time on that when we got this? Hey, Matt Walsh, guy who accuses anyone who's remotely queer of being a pedophile and being a groomer and saying that they're indoctrinating kids while you're literally trying to indoctrinate kids. You know, our indoctrination says, hey, let people be who they want to be or who they are because it's not hurting anybody and it's better for society. And your indoctrination says, no, fuck them. How's that going? By the way, Captain's Log, good to see you.
None. It is not. In fact, ever since the beginning of time, teenage girls have been getting pregnant. It used to be.
This is not a good start. This is not a good start for you, Matt. Real libertarian energy going here. Kind of losing because we'll see where this goes. Maybe has he earned the benefit of the doubt? No, but I'm sure. Yeah, I dread where this is going too. His indoctrination literally says fuck him. Yeah.
More common. The peak, ever since they started keeping records of these things, which they only started doing recently, like in the 20th century.
Yeah, we did that for a reason. Because like we were able to study the brain more, and we learned that we were actually doing things that were very damaging to young minds by like marrying off your 14-year-old daughter to 30-year-old men. We found out that that's actually really bad. Anyone else waiting for sundown to go out? I don't know what that means, Civic Folly. Welcome in, though.
But ever since they started keeping records, in 1957 was the peak for teenage pregnancy. 1957. Not.
Yes. And again, that was we created responses to that because we as a society recognized that was a bad thing and caused women to lose their rights because they didn't have a choice but to do anything but be impregnated. You know what else was super high then? Rape. If they actually investigated it, which they didn't take it seriously because, oh, you're just crazy women got the hysteria. And a reminder, how did they cure hysteria? By having a doctor masturbate them. So the cure to having mental condition likely from being sexually assaulted was for a doctor to further sexually assault them. Cool. We just have such a great and normal and cool society. Yeah, seriously.
2009,
Well, back
not
then,
today.
all of them were supposed to have kids. Like, that's
Well,
when you
hold on.
had kids.
That's my point, okay? So to all of a sudden act like this phenomenon of girls getting pregnant at a young age that we consider young, 16 or 17,
Baby boomers.
to act like it's a new thing is ridiculous. It's always been that way.
No one said it was a new thing. We said we wanted the new thing to be preventing it. And in states that have comprehensive sex education, have abortion access, have easier access to contraceptives, that happens. Is it perfect? Of course not. There is no perfect plan. Meanwhile, if you look at the states that lead the country in teen pregnancy, I'm just going to type that in. I'm sure it's not going to show anything that completely makes my point against Matt's point. States that lead the country in teen pregnancy. Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Alabama, West Virginia, Kentucky, and New Mexico. What do all those states have in common? Colorado leads the country in not pregnant teens. We're doing great, actually. Yeah. Yep, all of them vote Republican. All of them have, New Mexico is the outlier. But, you know. There's always got to be one, doesn't there? Yeah. They also have lower access to contraceptives. They also have they don't have comprehensive sex education. They run on abstinence only, or some form of abstinence only that kind of tries to breed the two together and fails miserably at doing it. Just don't have sex. You'll get pregnant. But also STDs exist. And that's about it. The exception that proves the rule sort of thing. Yeah. Because notice it's also down at the bottom. Yeah. But please, guy who constantly accuses the left of being pedophiles and being groomers and saying that we're sexualizing children, please tell me more about how it needs to be recognized as normal that 16-year-olds get pregnant.
Even biologically, and this is me just stating, I'm just, right now I'm going to start by just stating facts. So fact number one, it's not a new phenomenon. Fact number two, in fact, it's a phenomenon that was more common earlier in history, and for, the first 6,000 to 10,000 years of human existence, it was a normal thing.
So was incest. So was incest, Matt. Very telling right now. Very, very telling. Have you noticed that all red states, whether good economically or poor, are always asking the blue states for help? That's the wrong way of looking at it. It's the wrong way of looking at it. Because people need help. I don't give a shit if you vote against your interests or you vote against me or whatever. When it comes down to it, a hurricane wrecks your house. Yeah, we should be there to help. For one thing, we're better than that. And for another, we actually have human empathy. And maybe you would recognize, people need to recognize that human empathy is not something we need to shun away, especially along party lines, but is actually something that we need to embrace wholly. That's why we embrace universal programs. Medicare for all, not Medicare for just blue states. So is lynching black people. Yeah, also a good point. You know what else was normal thing for the first 6,000 to 10,000 years of history? Trans people. Correct. Phenomenon and common are a contradiction. Yeah. He's going to first guy to go for things like Prophet Muhammad had a 10 years old bride. Yeah, dude, shit like that happens in the past. Tradition for tradition's sake. Yep. And since it was a Muslim prophet, he would be like, "See, that's disgusting. Say what you need is 14-year-old concubines like there are in the Bible."
Fact 3. Girls between the ages of like 17 and 24 is when they're technically most fertile.
Yeah.
Okay?
This is Matt trying to do an updated and more boring version of "If there's grass on the field, boys will play." If you've not heard that phrase, it's awful. I can't say that I recommend looking it up, but it's definitely something that I heard as a kid. And then I grew up and was like, wait, that's awful and gross. Because I'm not a fucking pedophile. It's always fun to see them pick and choose which parts of history are normal. I first heard that statement from Kid Rock. I first heard that statement from, it was probably my brothers. Obviously, they don't believe that anymore. Obviously. We were all kids once. Believe stupid things as a kid.
That's biological. That's
Oh,
a
I guess
fact.
you
All right, I'm just
right.
stating facts. That's all I'm doing. But what happened recently, and this is the fourth fact, recently in the last 30 years or so, we decided that that's way too young to start a family.
Why?
And
Because people live longer, and because we did developmental science into the brain to learn that the trauma of pregnancy on young minds is actually very detrimental. And also we decided that 18 was apparently the year that you hit the adult button and automatically people are able to take care of themselves, in spite of, you know, more facts that tend to come out. We decided all this. We decided that was the year. Decided 18 was the year. Now this isn't a rant against you know, ages of consent or anything like that. I just always think it's funny that we decided on 18, and I don't really understand why, because I tend to think that's kind of still too young to just throw people out on their own and tell them to fuck off, like a lot of people do. It's the opposite, actually. That's a femophilia, Matt Walsh says, as he puts on his trilby and trench coat, picks up his anime girl body pillow on the way out of his mother's basement. Yep, and all the way to his protest where he's going to call perfectly grown adults groomers, because they were like, hey, you say that you're not this gender? I believe you. I accept you. And I love you. Yep. Groomers. When God told Moses to go to the village and kill every man, woman, and male child, but keep the female little ones for yourselves. Yeah, the Bible can be quite yikes.
because now we
Divorce rates would probably go up, and once you're that young, you can't really make sure that
Well,
you know.
no,
that's the
girls are
person
no,
you
no,
wanna
no,
stay
no,
with.
no, no,
Because
because
girls were getting married early and marriages were lasting longer. You very rarely hear.
You're not providing a lot of context here, bud. Guy he's saying who he's talking to, like, yeah, you're kind of leaving a certain aspect out, like the fact that women couldn't even have credit cards in their name then. Getting divorced in those times was incredibly difficult because they didn't have civil rights. They didn't have the standing to be able to. Getting divorced would ruin the women's life. And that was law. That was codified in law. Yeah, they didn't leave. They didn't get divorced because it would literally fuck their life up irreparably. So they were constantly under the threat of violence against their husbands. You know? Nothing like basically creating a marriage out of fucking Stockholm syndrome. Girls were getting married earlier and staying married longer. Perhaps you might like to include the fact that they were coerced into those marriages and couldn't legally get a divorce without evidence of adultery. Yep. That's generous. I would place them at in the 1850s. Yeah. This is so dog shit. I'm going to go ahead and justify beating women, keeping them prisoner, and also having sex with 16-year-olds and getting them pregnant. And then I'm going to call other people groomers.
Hear about like these relationships that go to their what is it, your diamond anniversary, your 50th anniversary, and all this. That's a dying breed of people out there.
Yeah, and those were all people that got married very young. That's why
they're still alive.
Yeah, that's why you can have someone in their 70s who's celebrating their 55th wedding anniversary because they got married when they were teenagers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, Matt. This is certainly half of the story. Some key details you're leaving out. Like context. It wasn't because they were younger. It wasn't because they were having kids younger. It was because they didn't have a choice. But you don't really care about that, do you, Matt? Remember when women were effectively the property of their fathers/husbands? That's when America was great. Absolutely.
So what I'm saying is that the problem is not per se teenage pregnancy. It's unwed pregnancy. That's the problem in society. It's only problematic when you are not married and you don't have the man there to help you take care of the kids because he's a coward. And the
unwed pregnancy existed to the extent that they would refer they had a term for it. Hang on. Important text message. He needs to rub those last two brain cells he has left together because what the fuck, guy? Oh yeah, he's special. So teenagers have the mental capacity to decide to get married or pregnant, but not whether if they identify as trans. Nope. They also can't decide who they can vote for. They have no say. They have no say in who their elected officials are. But they can decide to pump out more children and get married for the rest of their lives. You know that in the Torah, abortion is not a sin? Yep. Bitter waters, yeah. Yeah. Let's marry teenage girls to the rapists, yeah. Remember, this is the the guy that wants to tell you that he's protecting the children. I want to make sure that we protect our children. How do I want to protect our children? I want to make sure that they could all get married at the tender age of 14 when they're most fertile. I want to outlaw divorce. I don't think you should be allowed to get divorced. You know, for freedom. I'm going to remind people that I read a tweet earlier where someone in all earnestness said that Candace Owens is a modern day civil rights leader. In the same vein as Matt Walsh. Related palate cleanser? I'm afraid. Oh good, it's only a minute.
I have a girlfriend right now. Thank you. Neither of us has very good taste in music. So whenever we're about to make love, I put on a random Spotify playlist. And a couple months ago, I put on an R&B playlist. I was feeling ambitious. And
I'm gonna go ahead and correct this guy and say that the true ambition is to put on a punk playlist. Think about it.
And R. Kelly came on. Yes. You've heard the news? and my girlfriend was like, oh, no, we cannot listen to R. Kelly. R. Kelly is a pedophile. And now here's the thing. And just hear me out for 1 second. Technically speaking, R. Kelly is not a pedophile. Just give me 1 second. I promise this goes away. Just hear me out. The term pedophile refers to people who are attracted to those that are prepubescent. Then there's something called a hebophile. That's people who are attracted to those in the early stages of puberty, like 11, 12, 13, 14. And then there's something called an ephebophile. That's people who are attracted to those in the later stages of puberty, like 15, 16, 17, 18. But I think the reason we don't make those distinctions is because it's very hard to explain the difference without sounding like a pedophile.
I wonder why that is. Yeah. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Alright, joke. Alright, joke. Alright, Matt. You got about 8 seconds to make yourself not sound like you're goddamn pedo and a hypocrite. What do you got?
The reason why we have that now are for two reasons. Because we have in current society, we live in the age of extended adolescence.
We live in the age of extended life too, Matt. Like, something Matt needs to understand is being married for 50 years was not all that common back in the heyday he wants to harken back to either. You want to know why? Because the life expectancy was far lower. So even if you got married at 16, which, let's be honest, it was more like 14. You didn't live long enough to be married for 50 years. Historical context is very important, isn't it, Matt? Matt trying to sound intellectual, bless his heart. Always really bad at this. Just the worst. Just god awful. Oh man. Oh Matt. Oh Matt. Life has not been kind to you. Hi, Bubs. Huh? What are you doing? Yeah, okay. Hmm? He's just crawling around on the floor. Hmm? Nothing? Okay. Okay. You know, I woke up today and there's a lot of days that I wind up streaming and I go, I hate myself today. I hurt myself today. And I go, I'm gonna punish myself. So I pull up the old Twitter app. See, all right, Daddy, hurt me. Show me how you're gonna hurt me today. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. PragerU says fund the children, not the schools. What the fuck does that mean? Your baby is part of Generation Alpha, so Eli is an alpha male. I believe it. That boy's gonna be tall. So Cody Johnston asked him to elaborate. And he actually replied. Holy shit. PragerU actually replying to explain the bullshit that they say. What a rarity. Would make me cry. Yep. Give me that hard stuff, Daddy. And they replied and said, means parents decide where to send their children to school, not the government. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. He's probably talking about a dowry or some such. School of choice. School of choice. Which is just a way to further remove money from public schools and transition them over to charter schools, which then is meant to transition them over to private schools, which will cause less and less children to be able to be educated. But that's not Dennis Prager's goal. His goal is to bring back child labor, because if they're not in the schools, they're at work. That's my view anyways. Well, Cody Johnston went ahead and replied to this because, he actually follows up on his shit. He said, in this video, use food stamps, a welfare program, as an example of choice and why school choice, not a welfare program, is good. You also have videos about how food stamps are bad and people shouldn't complain about pre-made packages. Could you speak on this contradiction? Doesn't look like he responded. But, I had this to say. But if you're constantly defunding schools, what good is the choice? Can't have child brides if they're educated. Yeah, that is true. Just all coinciding to the same point, which is fuck the poors. They don't deserve to be educated. They just need to be our labor, and they need to bitch less. And you know what? You're gonna vote for it, and you're gonna love it. And conservatives always just look at that message and they go, Because they mean the brown ones, not me. They don't. They mean you too. You're just willing to turn a blind eye to it because the brown ones are doing worse than you. Cool. Cool. Some weird shit. And then I saw this statement, and I had to point something out. I had to point out the inconsistency here because it's weird. Thomas Massey said, between 2014 and 2021, there were 204 active shooting incidents carried out in areas that allowed people to carry firearms. 104 of them were thwarted by an armed citizen, meaning 51% of attacks were thwarted by people legally carrying concealed handguns. It would be a shame if there was some context to that could point out that the guns of the people who were enacting these mass shootings also own their guns legally. So it's not about preventing the shooting. It's about having a shootout to the death. Neat. That's a good society to live in. I would rather live in a society where mass shootings were a complete rarity rather than every other week we're hearing about a new one. And the ones that don't get reported on used to be the exceptions to the rule who got reported on all the time, but the numbers are so low that people just don't care. They're not shocked anymore, because if the number isn't double digits anymore of dead children, we don't give a shit. Because we've moved on. It's gotten worse. That's a little thing to point out. Also, I would love to know how exactly they come to the conclusion that these active shooting incidents were prevented. Because if even one person died or was injured from the active shooter, that still justifies the idea that they, legal gun owner, had access to a weapon that allowed them to do that. Easily. And they did. You didn't prevent shit. It's like saying cops prevent crime. No, no, no. They go and collect the person if they can easily find out who it is. They don't prevent shit. Shh, the NRA is listening. God, I hope so. This is where we were talking about Matt Walsh. Fuck you, Matt Walsh. Yeah. Prager Shapiro, who I had a fight with, believe in the philosophy that you're poor because you're lazy. Yeah, yeah. And it's always funny the different people who are poor who believe that. Because, like, I like to turn it around on them and go, well, are you lazy? Because they never admit yes. Like, well, I could have worked harder, but no. And if it weren't for the damn illegals, they always turn it to that. It's like, no. I thought you believed in personal responsibility. It's almost like you're full of shit. No, you're not full of shit, are you? Excuse me. But yeah. I just, I gotta love this. Because it's the accusation here from this article is that the FBI undercounts number of times armed citizens have thwarted active shooting incidents. Some see a pattern of distortion in the FBI numbers, the Crime Prevention Research Center report argues. What is the Crime Prevention Research Center? I'm going to go ahead and guess that is not an independent organization, but actually a conservative think tank. Let's see how long it takes for us to find out. Crime Prevention Research Center. This is the slowest fucking website. Optimization. Do you fucking learn it? Oh my god. What is this website? What is that logo? Uh-huh. Dedicated to conducting academic quality research on the relationship between laws regulating the ownership or use of guns, crime, and public safety. Let's see here. Washington Examiner shared. Philadelphia Inquirer. Fox News. They seem to be sharing a lot of right-wing news outlets. That's very strange. Let's see how they conduct the research. Or actually, let's go to the About page on this very fucking terribly optimized site. Because look at how slow this is. Look at how fucking slow this is. This is ridiculous. About Us. The Crime Prevention Research Center is a research and education organization dedicated to conducting academic quality research on the relationship between laws regulating ownership of use of guns, crime, and public safety, educating the public on the results of such research, and supporting other organizations, projects, and initiatives that are organized and operated for similar purposes. It has 501c3 status and does not accept donations from gun or ammunition makers or organizations such as NRA or any other organizations involved in the gun control debate on either side of the issue, nor do we accept donations from organizations involved in the debate over illegal immigration. Our goal is to provide an objective and accurate scientific evaluation of both the costs and benefits of gun ownership as well as policing activities. Let's see here. It's founded by Dr. John R. Lott Jr. An economist and world-recognized expert on guns and crime. During the Trump administration, he served as the senior advisor for research and statistics in the Office of Justice Programs, when the Office of and then the Office of Legal Policy. Okay. So he's a Trump appointee. Research done by Carl Moody, a professor of economics. I'm not seeing anything here that shows that they know anything about crime statistics. That's kind of strange, isn't it? Nikki Gozer is the executive director of Crime Prevention Research Center and author of Stalked and Defenseless: How Gun Control Helped My Stalker Murder my Husband in Front of Me. Nikki was previously executive director of the Congressional Second Amendment Caucus. And I hate to say it, but unfortunately it's true. The libs are slightly onto something, but it should be concentrated on. There's a Russian person. There's always a Russian person. There's always a Russian Republican. Whole lot of economists. Here's a psychiatrist. Okay. Professor of pathology. Okay. Doctor of Law with honors. I'm gonna guess that dude posts a lot of anti-vax shit. Here's the author of Left Turn: How Liberal Media Bias Distorts the American Mind. Yeah, this is can't help but notice that there's a theme going on here. A lot of people who got rich off of right-wing books, worked in right-wing politics, worked in right-wing media, are economists, likely right-wing economists, because that is the majority of economists that are out there. Yeah. Yeah. Andrew Pollock. That sounds familiar. He was apparently a parent of a Parkland school student who was murdered. And I think I recognize him from something else. Let's see here. Let's see here. Reporters is actively fighting to release more federal funding to increase school security across the nation. Yeah. Argues that bulletproof glass, metal detectors, enhanced door lock systems, ID checkpoints, and school marshals can help prevent school shootings. Yeah. Yeah. They don't. They don't. How gun control helped a stalker kill my husband is just about how this lady followed the rules and her stalker didn't, so it's gun control's fault. Yeah. There's no edification and false bifurcation. These people are liars and extremists. Yeah. So now we know what this is. This independent research facility run by a bunch of economists who just so happen to work in right-wing politics. By the way, if you're wondering if I ever got an email back from the Blexit website, I have not yet gotten that email. Shocked. I know. Hey, Glue, good to see you. Let's see here. So we did the about. Let's look at donate. Reminder that city's platform and therefore sucks ass. Oh, they take Bitcoin. Cool. Founding supporters. Uh-huh. I'm looking for names that I recognize. I'm sure if I looked through these enough, I would see that they are connected to some big business that represents guns. I'm not going to sit there and do that because pain in the ass. But yeah, so not exactly. We're already starting off in the first sentence, quoting a not an independent at all, very fucking biased group. All right, Somnus, good to see you. Welcome in. So argues that the FBI's data contains massive errors when tracking active shooting incidents, undercounting how often armed citizens have thwarted active shooting situations over the last 8 years. Why are we just doing over the last 8 years, I wonder? Although collecting such data is fraught with challenges, some see a pattern of distortion in the FBI numbers because the errors almost exclusively go unaway, minimizing the life-saving actions of armed citizens. The report, which was provided to Fox News Digital this week by Crime Prevention Research Center founder and president John Lott. Remember, guy who worked for the Trump administration. You know, unbiased person, you see. But if you call it a research council, let's see if they linked the research. How did they do this? Okay, let's see here. So I track from 2014 to 2021. Okay, and let's see how they define it. FBI active shooter incidents. FBI active shooter incidents stopped by an armed citizen. FBI's percent stopped cases. Cases where armed citizens have stopped likely mass public shootings. CPRC. You know what's not in this? You know what's not in this? The amount of people who died. Eli, no. What are you doing? Stop that. No. No. No, I'm not playing. I'm not playing. Stop pumping the ottoman. Stop it. Leave it here. No. Oh boy. This child's gonna make me lose my mind, I swear. No, he's pushing the ottoman all across the room. And it drives us nuts because I can't then move my chair. Because he pushes it right behind my chair. But yeah, he does stuff like that all the time. He moves stuff around the room. And yeah, he's strong enough to move the ottoman. It's not a small ottoman. Parenting sucks. Anyways, let's see here. By the way, let's just go ahead and recognize that the FBI numbers state that in this very specific amount of time, 252 shooter incidents, and they count 11 supposedly stopped by armed citizens, which is a very broad term, as you'll see as you look further into the data. They rated at 4.4%. According to CPRC, the actual number is 41. Can't help but notice that they don't show the percentage. Or correct percentage stopped, 34%. They also corrected the active shooter incidents. Oh, they added more to them. Why did they add more to them? That's weird. But yeah, it's the difference between 41 and 20. It's 25. The difference is 25. Evidence of the difficulty in finding past cases. What the fuck does that mean? Do they explain this? Let's see if this even reads like a study. As for the second factor, overlooked cases, the FBI more significantly missed 25 incidents identified by CPRC where what would likely have been mass public shooting was thwarted by armed civilians. There were another 83 active shooting incidents that they missed. There is no reason to think that the news media covers all the cases where civilians stopped attacks, and the farther back in time we go, the more cases we are likely to miss. The next table illustrates this bias. Using the 2014 to 2021 data clearly shows that 49.1% of active shooting attacks were stopped in 2021, 45% in 2020, and a declining percentage the farther back in time that we go. Uh-huh. Do not mention whether the attacks occur in gun-free zones. The issue is that when places are posted as gun-free zones, law-abiding citizens obey those rules and would be unable to stop the attacks in those areas. Surveys show that criminologists and economists had the same top 4 preferred policies for stopping mass public shootings on a 1-to-1 scale. Like, what? What does that mean? What does that have to do with the study? They're not. In 2 other incidences, the FBI misidentified armed civilians as armed security personnel. If they're armed security personnel, they were technically both, I guess, but still. This research paper reads like an article, doesn't it? Did armed citizens stop attacks in places where guns were allowed? Percentage stopped in places that allowed people to legally carry. Mm-hmm. And if none of them had guns, just saying. Hey, Sean, good to see you. Do concealed handgun permit holders who stop these attacks pose a danger to others? News outlets often raise concerns that allowing concealed handgun carry will result in innocent bystanders being shot or in police accidentally shooting permit holders. White's AP dispatch on the Greenwood shooting quoted Adam Langford, identified as a criminal justice expert at the University of Alabama, who stated, "While it's certainly a good thing in this mall shooting that someone was able to stop it before it went any further, let's not think we can substitute that outcome in all past and future instances. If everyone's carrying a firearm, the risk that something bad happens just gets more larger." Professor Moody, who studies mass public shootings, remember he's another right-wing think tank guy, notes that such warnings are misleading. Considering the particulars of recent tragedies like Newtown and Aurora, what level of impact do you think a legally armed citizen could have made? So they surveyed this rather than looking at the data. Let's see what the data says. There was a real study. Here we go. There was a real study done. See, this is what a real study looks like. Notice how they're not mentioning anything about the press. And they're showing more data. And some things can be proven by a survey. This is not one of them because there's raw data to prove the correlations here. So let's just go ahead and scroll down to the good old conclusion, the results. The study cohort comprised of 17,569 and 96 adults who were followed for an average of 6.9 years. None of them had recorded handgun acquisitions between 1985 and the time they entered the study cohort, but 595,448 started residing with handgun owners during the study period. 2/3 of these cohabitants of handgun owners were female. Compared with cohabitants of non-owners, cohabitants of owners were more likely to be female, be white, and reside outside an urban area. Total of 737,012 cohort members died during the study period. 2,293 died by homicide, of which 1,495 were homicides by firearm. 53% of the homicides occurred away from the victim's home. 37.8% occurred at the victim's home. 1.3% involved victims residing in irregular dwellings, for example, homeless or institutionalized, and the location could not be determined for the remaining 7.5%. Among homicides that occurred at home, the relationship of perpetrator to victim was unknown for 26.6%. Among the rest, the victim was killed by a spouse or intimate partner in 36.9%, on another family member in 25.9%, a friend or acquaintance in 20.9%, and a stranger in 16.2%. Firearms were used in 65.2% of all homicides, 51.6% of homicides at home, and 77.2% of homicides away from home. Crude rates of all three of these categories of homicides were higher among cohabitants of handgun owners than among cohabitants of non-owners. In other words, a gun being in your house does not, in fact, make you safer and makes you more at risk of dying from a gun. So it's not even just the gun owner having the gun that is a danger to themselves and others. Just somebody who moves in with somebody who owns a gun makes you far less safer. As anecdotal experiences compared to empirical evidence, it seems. Yeah, that's why that reads like an article and reads like a like trashy news article, and this reads like an actual fucking study. Like to call this a study is a joke. Like they literally use the example of We went and we asked people what they thought. You know what? You know what else makes your study look even more legitimate? A YouTube video that looks heavily produced, shot in HD. Yeah, oh yeah. But oh, Sunny Gaming, welcome in. So yeah. Not seeing anything good from this article. Seems like all the things that they're quoting is all bullshit. Who knew? Anyways, moving on. The one thing I did not factor in when I had made the prediction that that Elon Musk was not going to buy Twitter was the fact that he would think that Twitter wasn't going to, Twitter had more to lose from him finding a way to back out of the deal. And he was going to get hurt. Definitely. He thought that he was going to raise his stock price and then bail and dump all the stocks when it was at the highest. In comparison to what was reported by a bunch of his sycophants in the comment sections when he started trying to back out of the deal by saying, "Oh, the bots, it's the bots, guys. It's the bots." And they all said that he was playing 4-dimensional chess because he was pretending to back out of the deal so that he could lower their price by investigating them for how many bots they have, because it's lying to investors. And then those text messages came out. And then they found out that there is such a thing in lawsuits called discovery, where more information is going to be publicly released. Now, surely you're wondering, with Twitter stock taking such a hit, that means that Elon, it's what the Elon stand said. He's going to now be able to buy it for cheaper, thus getting one over on Twitter and saving some money. And then he's going to come in and he's going to free speech warrior the shit out of Twitter. Yeah, because he's 4-dimensional chess player. Let's go ahead and see what price he got them down to. The tumultuous saga of Elon Musk's on again, off again purchase of Twitter took a turn toward a conclusion Tuesday after Mercurial Tesla CEO proposed to buy the company at the originally agreed on price of $44 billion. Four-dimensional chess is when I fail at everything. I love laughing at Elon. And here's the thing, and I've said this before. Even though I'm wrong about him winding up buying Twitter, which is actually twice as funny, because like all the stands are like, "Oh my god, Elon's buying Twitter. He's gonna make it so much better." Ain't shit gonna change. He's not gonna change a fucking thing. There's literally nothing about Twitter that would change. If he tries to enact any of the things that he said he was going to, Eli, stop. No. If he tries to enact any of the things that he said he was going to, he's going to lose people on the site. They're not gonna just have a bot problem. They're gonna have an active user problem. And then they're going to find out that all the things that they were doing before was actually working. Maybe he'll unsuspend me to protect free speech. Yeah. Yeah, unsuspend Sean and unsuspend James. Give them their Twitter accounts back. They were targeted by the right-wing bias and the right-wing media. Literally. It's not even really much of a joke. He'll also give Trump's account back too, I bet. Yeah, I don't think he will. I don't think he will. I think he says he's going to. And like once the investors come in and are like, hey, so here's the thing. If you give Trump back his account, we're out. We're out. He's bad for business. Being connected to him makes advertisers leave this site. Like I said, they cannot get what they want. There's a reason why all those right-wing sites are having trouble finding sponsors, to the point where they basically have to sell ass pills on the side. Ass pills and gold. Go to Gab and True Social and you tell me how their advertising looks. You cannot do what Musk has said he wants to do, because it doesn't work, because he doesn't understand the model. He's stupid. He's an idiot. Say 4D chess. He's playing checkers and he's losing. He's playing checkers and thinking he's playing Connect 4. You can see I got 4 in a row here. That makes me the winner. Sir, that's not how this works. King me. What a moron. Elon Musk was laughing, was a laughing stock of an engineer even back by 90s standards. Yeah, the dude is not intelligent. I don't know why people keep fooling themselves into thinking he's some brilliant mind. He's not. I'm so glad that those text messages came out and they're kind of like ruining the idea of the meritocracy even existing, because it doesn't. It doesn't. It's not real. He just failed upwards. He was a rich kid who was able to fail upwards. It's easy to make money when you have money and you have nothing really to lose, because either way you're rich. They equate wealth to intellect. Yeah, of course they do. I remember getting in a fight early on in the Trump administration with a friend who, you know, he didn't like Trump, but he was like, well, you got to admit he is smart, because that's how he made his money. And I was like, dude, he's lost a bunch of money. He's a laughingstock of all, like, anyone in business. The only thing he's good at is selling himself, which involves him just lying about himself endlessly with no shame. It's like, well, that takes a lot of skill, right? And I was like, I guess. But the thing he's lying about is that he's good at business, and he's not. Selling yourself and then being good with your money are two different things. Because then he's getting his money and he's losing it. And he refuses to pay the people that work for him. Like, people don't want to work with him. He's bad at this. He's not intelligent. Well, then how did he make all his money? I'm like, he inherited it from his dad. Well, yeah, but he's kept it. No, he hasn't. He's lost most of it. He was almost a billionaire when his dad died. $900-something million. He lost it. It's not a skill, it's a dysfunction. Yeah. And I'm telling you, these people are not intelligent. They're not smart. They don't deserve your applause or your regard because they earned a bunch of money. A lot of times, the way that you earn a bunch of money in business when you already have a bunch of money is by just being a shithead. And let me tell you, it doesn't take an intelligent person to be an awful human being. A complete dumbass can be a absolute piece of shit. In fact, most are. But yeah, I love that he's going to take this multi-billion-dollar hit. I mean, he can afford it, and nothing's going to change at Twitter. It's just people are going to like. There's going to be some people who are going to act like the fucking the whole thing's on fire, and they're going to leave. And I understand that, because likely when he does finally take over, he's going to try a few of his dumb ideas. And they're going to fail. But he's just going to return it back to the state it was in. It's almost like we've been saying Musk is dumb as hell. Yeah. How dare you say my cave daddy is dumb? The fact that he pulled all these moves and he still is winding up having to pay the original $44 billion just shows how terrible a businessman he is and how stupid he is for trying to pull this stunt in the first fucking place. He is now the proud owner of a company he never wanted because it was all a grift. But that's okay. That's okay. Because he's got a plan. He has found a way to turn this this very obvious thing that shows he's very obviously a stupid human being. He's found a way to get his fans super excited. He tweeted this: buying Twitter is an accelerant to creating X, the everything app. What is an everything app? And this person asked the one of the very obvious questions. I think it would have been easier to just start X from scratch, though. Twitter probably accelerates X by 3 to 5 years, but I could be wrong. Don't expect to ever see X. It's never going to happen. If you describe your app as everything that's not an app, that's an operating system. Yeah, I was one of many people who made that point. Because like somebody tried to explain what an everything app does, and when they described it, I was like, that sounds like a phone operating system. That's an OS. It's not something new. That's not even an app. That's a thing that apps run on. So I have this brilliant idea where I'm going to, it's an app for everything. And what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that it can do all the things you want it to do. We'll have maps on there. We'll have a search function. You'll be able to read your emails on it. You'll be able to get text messages. You'll be able to do everything. And then at some point, what we're going to do is we're going to allow for third-party operators to create other programs that can run on it at the same time. And we're going to sell it in a store. We're going to call it the X Store. And it's totally groundbreaking how we're going to do this. And then we're going to create a device for it to be stored on that's going to be touchscreen operated, you see. And it's going to have a really sleek design. Nothing that anyone has ever heard of before. And like, there's the one asshole in the audience raising their hands like, yeah, you, sir, those exist. They're called smartphones. The things you're basically describing is iOS and Android. And the last group to take on both those operating systems was Microsoft, a far more successful company than any of the companies that you've run. And they failed miserably. But I'm sure that the Tesla phone won't be a recreation of the Windows phone. I'm sure. This time it'll work this time, guys. Got this. All you gotta do is believe. Because you know what you think of when you think quality products. Not Elon Musk, but eventually someone might say Elon, but they'd be lying, and they'll be covering up, how their Tesla had the headlight was installed backwards. Anyways, it won't be Tesla phone. It'll be Phone X. It works better with the branding. Oh yeah, like Phoenix. Oh god damn it! You're probably right. You put that in the air, and you know for a fact that is exactly what he's going to call it because of the branding. You see. And the unfortunate thing about you putting this out there is he's never going to give you credit for it. It'll be the only place where you can buy a Tesla, tickets for your SpaceX in-orbit vacation, and scheduling your Neuralink surgery. Yeah. I say Phone X, but it sounds like phony to me. Yeah. I'm so glad that that this guy can find a way to convince his fans that no, you may see a bunch of things that show that I'm just the dumbest human being alive, but I'm not, because it's just all a part of my plan. Am I going to get rid of the bots? Nope. Am I going to make Twitter more of a free speech platform like I said I was, and do all the things that I promised? Nope. I'm going to use it to create another venture to make money, because I really need to make the money back from the fact that I wound up having to buy this social media company that I didn't actually want, because I found out that it actually doesn't make any money, and all the things that I would do to it would actually make it so it was not profitable, because I didn't understand the model by which they made money. I have another thing to tell you. It's it's an app that does everything. Yeah. See? Oh, Elon was ahead of you again. Didn't even think of that, did you? What do you mean that sounds stupid? What do you mean it sounds like I just made it up? No. It's my plan all along. There you go. Now you believe me. This is essentially an essay I wrote in 2001 about the future of 3G and GPS for a business technology class based on stuff they were already doing in Korea and Japan. Why is my shoe over here? Why are both of my shoes over here? And where's your sock? By the way, another reminder that I'm trying to raise money to make our car payment. If you can donate the money, dono, and the chat. I also have my PayPal link on my Twitter, !social, to see my social media stuff. We were able to get out a negative finally. So far, the actual amount of donations I've received is about 40 to 50 something dollars, and we need another 400. So if anybody can help, that'd be greatly appreciated. Hey, the Jews were trending today. Good luck with the sock. You're never gonna find it. The kids give them directly to gnomes, I'm fairly certain. He takes them off in fairly obvious places. But yeah, it is frustrating. Hey, no, you know you're not supposed to mess with that. Stop. This child. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that because just a reminder that things are not going well. But we can go ahead and find something else to laugh about. You know, the funniest news story from yesterday, and if you've been living under a rock and somehow missed it, yesterday, Christian Walker, remember, the gay Republican, the gay black Republican who has come out as the newest version of Candace Owens, the attempt at least, where he's going to come out and show that no, Republicans aren't sexist and misogynistic. They aren't bigots. They don't hate gay people. They hate trans people. Oh, and stop being mad at me because you say that I didn't earn my money when I was simply born to a famous football player. Because I did earn my money by being born to a famous football player. And I've made no money of my own. Except for now I'm going to make money on my own on the conservative talk ticket. Because there's a bunch of billionaires who will gladly fund me. And to continue to say that, oh no, it's the media that's being controlled by the lefties. And not, you know, all the billionaires who are incredibly right-wing. And fund all right-wing speakers. And the multiple news networks they have. And the multiple online channels that they have. And the multiple speakers that they have. And the multiple speaking engagements that they have all around the country. That somehow happen at colleges all over the country. You get some no-name assholes speaking at the fucking University of Michigan. Because he's got a billionaire backing him. But you know, he averages like 100 views on fucking YouTube. But because he's got all that money, he has like a nice studio and he has like HD recording and everything. Yeah, that guy. Anyways, he decided to tank his dad's election chances. We were given a gift yesterday. Yesterday, all my troubles seemed so far away. True. This was hilarious. First of all, we should probably go, instead of just stopping at 1, this is what I should have done. So I'm going to correct that mistake. Let's see here. So on October 1st, this is what he tweeted. We haven't seen a leader like Governor DeSantis in my lifetime. He's at Waffle House frying hash browns for first responders. He's making sure people's homes are protected from looting. He's providing hurricane relief himself. This man is going to win re-election by a landslide. Funny thing happened in 2 days. Because then he said that he tweeted this. Every family member of Herschel Walker asked him not to run for office because we all knew some of his past. Every single one. He decided to give us the middle finger and air out all of his dirty laundry in public, while simultaneously lying about it. I'm done. I know my mom and I would really appreciate if my father, Herschel Walker, stopped lying and making a mockery of us. You're not a family man. When you left us to bang a bunch of women, threatened to kill us, and had us move
newt fucking newt.
What a message, Lord. Lord, thank you for the $100. I really appreciate it. Hey, only 300 more to go, Bubs. Guys. What is happening? Jesus Christ. No, I love this. This is amazing. This is amazing. That scared the fuck out of me. I jumped. I'm just going to go ahead and turn down my headphones just a little bit. That was loud. Anyways, he goes on to say, actually, we didn't finish this. And had us move over 6 times in 6 months running from your violence. I don't care about someone who had a bad past and takes accountability. But how dare you lie and act as though you're some moral Christian, upright man? You've lived a life of destroying other people's lives. How dare you? I think there's more of a thread to this. Oh, no. All right, big shout out to Ken Klippenstein, who said, subscribe to my free newsletter to find out more. Sorry about the family drama, Christian. Can I get an RT? Shameless. Shameless and hilarious. I mean, it's already bad enough that Warnock was not doing well against Herschel Walker. Oh yeah, Herschel paid for his girlfriend to get an abortion. Not just one. It wasn't just one girlfriend. Oh no. Conservative Christian values. Let's see if he did more to this. I'm trying to remember. So he made some videos. I've stayed silent for nearly 2 years as my whole life has been lied about publicly. I did one campaign event, then said I didn't want involvement. Don't you dare test my authenticity. Here's the full story.
I stayed silent as the atrocities committed against my mom were downplayed. I stayed silent when it came out that my father, Herschel Walker, had all these random kids across the country, none of whom he raised. And you know my favorite issue to talk about is father absence. Surprise, because it affected me. That's why I talk about it all the time, because it affected me. Family values, people. He has 4 kids, 4 different women, wasn't in the house raising one of them. He was out having sex with other women. Do you care about family values? I was silent, lie after lie after lie. The abortion card drops yesterday. It's literally his handwriting in the card. They say they have receipts, whatever. He gets on Twitter. He lies about it. Okay, I'm done. Done. Everything has been a lie. And so for the right to say I'm being suspicious for saying, hey, I'm
yeah,
done with
he's
the lies,
running as a senator.
You all have been calling me saying, is this true about your dad? Gosh, we're not going to win Georgia, this candidate. All that's been you. You have no idea what I've been through in my life. You have no idea what me and my mom have survived. We could have ended this on day 1. We haven't. I haven't told any stories. I'm just saying don't lie. Don't lie on my mom. Don't lie on me. Don't lie on the lives you've destroyed and act like you're some moral family man. Y'all should care about that, conservatives. And then for people on the...
But they don't. Oh, he's going to dress us. Oh, tell us how bad we are for laughing at this because it's only the thing that we've been saying about conservatives the entire time.
Left to act as though I'm responsible for all of the things that he has done.
None of us do that.
I've talked about Father Epps. I've talked all these issues because they've been close to me, because they matter to me, because I went through it. That's why.
Yeah, and we only addressed how what you were talking about was not true. Like, it sucks what you've been through. Like, you're actually going to get sympathy from us. The right is going to fucking bury you because you came for one of theirs. They don't like that. You're about to find out which party is actually the party of tolerance. Dude, you're about to find out. You fucked around. See, the thing is about father absences is not about father absence. It's about, yes, there's too many single parents in this country. And the reason why there's too many single parents is because there's high amounts of pregnancy, unwanted pregnancy, and no access to contraceptives, proper sex education, and now a decreasing access to abortion. Why did you bring me this? Old Borderlands game. No. 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 I told you no. Hasn't Herschel Walker also spouted hateful and conservative rhetoric even against the LGBTQ community? Yep. He hates trans people. Yep. This is exactly what we were telling you about this party. You're about to learn their level of tolerance for you. They liked you when you were convenient to them, and now that you're not, guess what? We at no point blamed you for the things your father did. We blamed you for the shit that you did. Contrary to popular belief, the left actually does believe in personal accountability. The left actually does believe in individuality. But we also believe that society exists. We just want to allow people to be who they are. And for those failures that happen in life to not lead to your death and destruction. You shouldn't be punished endlessly because you were poor. But we actually believe in personal accountability. So no, there's no one on the left who blames you for the things your father did. If anyone was blaming you, they were saying you were covering up for it because you were quiet about it for a long time. But thank you. Thank you for finally coming out, Christian. Good job. Good job. But you fucked around and you're about to find out. And it ain't going to be coming from the left. And no matter of times you say, look at this lefty calling me the N-word and calling me the F-slur. They're all going to be right-wingers, dude. They're going to blame you for tanking your dad's run. And we're going to thank you. So where really is the tolerance? We don't hate you because you're gay. We don't hate you because you're conservative. We don't hate you because you're black. We hate you because of the things that you said and did and how you were a complete and utter hypocrite while doing it. Get rid of that hypocrisy and we'll be better. Now, we got to talk about the conservatism and how it actually is detrimental to the rest of the world. Don't get me wrong. It's a bad thing. But the things that got us pissed off at you were the things that you said and did. Not anyone else. So, yeah. Terrible critique of the left. He's probably going to get more mad that we're celebrating this, which, hell yeah, we are. Hell yeah. We were shocked as hell as to how anyone could, vote for that mush-mouthed moron Herschel Walker, the guy who's basically going to die of CTE on day one of him being a senator. But, this should knock off a few of the people who were unsure of who they were going to vote for to be like, I just, that Raphael Warnock, he's a reverend, and he isn't hiding a bunch of abortions that he's had in the past. He's actually a good Christian, and he actually cares about people. You know what? I think I'm going to give him a second chance.
I've talked about it. So when you say, well, talk about your dad, but I am. I'm saying this behavior is atrocious. Don't come for me. You don't have to like my apology. You don't have to like me. You don't have to. I'm just saying I'm done with the lies. We were told at the beginning of this he was going to get ahead of his past, hold himself accountable, all of these different things, and that would have been fine. Go ahead. He didn't do any of that. Everything's been a lie. Everything's been downplayed. Everything's been cutting corners.
Of course. Of course. That's all Republican politicians. That's all politicians, really. But none do it to the extent that conservatives do. There is none worse at owning up to their past than conservatives. You can just ask the guy running for office on his record on going to Afghanistan and being a war veteran from Afghanistan, except they come to find out that he never actually went to Afghanistan. He was actually in a safe base at an ally country. He was so far away from fucking bomb smoke that he couldn't even describe what it smells like. Has he never met conservatives? That's literally their MO. They say some shit, then they don't believe on any of it. Or don't deliver on any of it. Well, that's the thing, is a lot of people who believe in conservative politics, they don't ever recognize that fact. They think that, oh no, the things that these people are saying is the truth, because they lie so much that they don't know what the truth is. They can't, the big problem we have on the left with like messaging and how our what we say is too long, and what are you doing? I'll be right back. What did Daddy say? No. You are going to stand here and you are going to watch me put all of this back. All this stuff that you are told multiple times that you are not supposed to touch. You're not supposed to mess with any of this. You're not supposed to be in the crates. You're going to watch me do it. You're going to watch me lock it again. And then you're going to turn around. You're going to step over here, and you're going to pretend that doesn't exist. No. No. Eli, no. You're on timeout. If you can't listen, you don't get any freedom. I had to put together his pack and play to put him on timeout. I'm pretty sure that he's ruined several of those games. I don't know how to get that kid to listen. I know, but it's really frustrating. God damn it, he can still reach the bar. Yeah, I do. Quick reminder that if I could actually make this stream a money-making venture and get enough money to actually live off of, I will be paying our babysitter to watch him while I stream so that I don't have to deal with stuff like that. And so that less of my shit ends up broken. That'd be a nice thing to be able to have. Basic living conditions. But can't afford it. Well, so much for this being a fun story. I was having fun. You kind of feel for that kid. I mean, I get tired of trying to warn people in good faith about what's going to happen in these spaces. You know, to the extent that I sympathize with them, I sympathize with them having to go through it. But like it's not that much. Because we told you. Everyone was telling him they're not going to accept you. You're there for convenience. They're using you because your dad is running for office. If your dad wins or loses afterwards, your name is not going to be brought up again. Make your money now, but recognize that if you actually believe in these politics, it's all supposed to be a grift. All of them, the majority of the famous ones, all know that what they're doing is a grift. They all know it. And you tell him over and over again. You say, I'm pretty sure that when he was on Hassan's stream, Hassan told him, like, look, dude, these people are not your friends. You are a convenience for them. Nothing else. It's the amount of empathy that you can have when you warn somebody over and over to not touch a stove. And not only do they touch the stove, but they keep doing it again and again, and eventually they leave their hand on it while screaming. Like, you want to talk about personal responsibility? You made the personal choice there, Christian. You made the choice to follow these right-wing politicians. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm going to fight like hell to make sure that these people aren't there to destroy your lives, but you're going to keep fighting against us. All because you think that trans people are icky. So, it's really hard for me to have much empathy for Christian Walker. We fucking told you. Yeah, these leopards, my beautiful face. Yes. We told you not to do it. You called us liars. We told you they don't believe in a fucking thing that they say, that they actually they don't have any empathy for you, that they only want to use you, that the very second you become inconvenient, they'll get rid of you. They will continue to make laws that harm you, no matter how much you go on to deny it yourself. And he's over here acting like this is a rarity. My father's a hypocrite. They know and do not care. Yeah, he knew that going in. But do you know why? If I could give a personal message to one Christian Walker, if I thought that he would read any tweet that I tweeted at him, I would deliver this personal message to him. Christian. Let's zoom in. Christian. You went in knowing your dad was going to be a hypocrite, thinking that he would own up to his stuff, and now you see that he, much like he's done for the entirety of your life, did not do that thing. He is not a rarity in the Republican Party. He's the rule. Look it up. Look up all the people who've cheated on their wives, who are abandoned parents, who are just the shittiest human beings to their families. None of them live by their Christian values, because none of them care. Not a one actually gives a shit about the things that they preach. Because at some point down the line, whether they're not cheating on their family, whether they're not abandoning children, they're doing something like fraud. They're defrauding poor people. Or they're stealing from them. They're stealing from their companies. They're finding ways to harm people and not be blamed for it, even though they are to blame for it. That is every single fucking one of them. You can say whatever you want about Democrats, and I do. I will gladly say that there is a lot of hypocritical bullshit among Democrats. But do you know what we don't do? We don't deify our politicians. We look at them and we go, what the fuck is wrong with you? And either we fucking oust them, which is why we lose elections, or we begrudgingly vote for them because the Republican option is so much worse. You want to know why you can't find anybody who actually likes Joe Biden? It's because people hated Donald Trump so much more because of the actual damage he caused to actual people. We didn't like Joe Biden. We didn't want Joe Biden. We didn't want Trump. What better example, though, of modern day Republicans and modern day conservative values than Donald fucking Trump, a man who's been married 3 times, neglects his children, known to beat his children. The story about him punching Don Jr. in the face when he didn't show up wearing a fucking tie because he was fucking got drunk the night before. The guy who abandoned his brother's kids because he hated that his brother was the prodigal son, but died from him becoming an addict. What better person than someone who talks about how good a businessman he is by not actually paying his employees? So there goes your whole, oh, you get paid what you're worth. Well, Donald Trump says all the people that work for him aren't worth fucking a thing. That's a good businessman to you. And you defend him. And you defend all of these motherfuckers. You want to know why I don't have sympathy for you? That's why. You'll start to gain some sympathy for me. You'll start to gain some sympathy from me the very second you recognize that fact. That every single one of these motherfuckers that you believe in are all fucking hypocrites. They're all bullshit artists. They don't have any values. They don't care. You want any idea of what it looks like to be taken over in the black community by a Republican? Come to my city. Then you fucking tell me about their compassion and their heart and how much they just believe in uplifting people. The fuck they do. We used to have. And now we don't. It took three of the most powerful and influential Republican presidents, 2 of the most influential and powerful Republican governors of Michigan, to destroy my home. John Engler and Ronald Reagan and Rick Snyder and Donald Trump and George W. Bush. That's how we got here. And no amount of bootstrapping is going to do a fucking thing. How are you supposed to pull yourself up when the waves are coming crashing in around you? Nuclear bombs are the blast radius of several nuclear bombs are encasing you, and you're telling us, oh, well, if you just work harder. They're all hypocrites, and none of them, all of them, are just as bad as your dad. A lot of them are worse. And they've been in office for 40 fucking years, and people like you will defend them. Why? Because you don't want to pay taxes. You want that good old estate tax. You're like, oh, if I'm going to get something out of this motherfucker, it's going to be when he dies from CTE in a couple years. I'm going to get a huge inheritance. That's what Republicans protect. Old money. They don't want to give you opportunity. They don't actually believe in bootstrapping. They protect old money. And I got news for you. You ain't old money. So when it comes down to it, they'll find a way to take it from you too. They'll find a way to fuck you over too. They always do. You have been indoctrinated. You've been the actual person who's been indoctrinated. Because you don't really see a Republican moving to anything else often. If they're a conservative when they grow up, they stay identifying as a conservative throughout their whole lives until they're not. And then they move to the left and they abandon all of their old beliefs because they're like, it's all bullshit. Or they move further to the right, but that's just where conservatives lean. Because conservatism is always moving further to the right. They never ever abandon any of their beliefs, no matter how hypocritical or no matter how much it hurts them. That's indoctrination. When you are not allowed to question any of your beliefs, you're just constantly told what other people believe, and it's all wrong, by the way. It's all wrong. They're lying about the things the left believes. We don't actually believe that everyone just sits home and doesn't fucking do anything and collects paychecks. No, we don't actually believe that. People want to do stuff. But they lie to you about what we believe. And they lie to you about what they believe. When are you going to stop believing the lies and actually listen to the people who are actually telling the truth? How many times have you made a comment about what the left believes, and you've gotten several comments, Christian, from people saying, that's not at all what the left believes. You might be talking about liberals or conservative liberals. That ain't the left. Whoa. But the socialists, they all just want to murder everybody. No, we don't. We actually want to help people. The amount of leftists who actually believe in harming anybody is actually surprisingly low. And we don't like them either. Because ultimately our goal is to make people's lives better. If you fight against making people's lives better and want to make it worse, well, everyone has a limit. And it depends on what exactly you're doing. These rich kids would never go to Flint. They'd end up spending their net worth on bottled water. Just so long as they left some of it to us. Give it 100 years and Republicans were rebranded as Ann Prims to protect tradition. I don't think that conservatives make it another 100 years. I'd be surprised if they make it another 50. We're all doomed, first of all. Second of all, that doom, you can only lie about it for so long. We're running out of water. But yeah. Christian, when you are ready to actually talk to a leftist that cares, and if he had the money, would actually put it towards leftist causes, then you know where to look. Maybe I should clip this out for YouTube. He's not going to see it. But if it's at least there, Maybe he will. Because here's the thing. As much as the shit you say pisses me off, and as much as we can point out that, as you talk about abandoned fathers, we can point out that how statistically what you're talking about isn't true. And you don't know that because you believe the shit that you've been told all your lives by the media. Hey, would you look at that? The supposedly left-wing media also thinks that black people don't take care of their kids. The liberal media even reports that. CNN will run stories about that, and have in the past. Would you look at that? They agree with you. Except when you statistically look at it, when you look at actual analyses of what's actually happening, black fathers participate more in their kids' lives than white fathers do. The difference is marriage rate. And Republicans want to fight for a higher marriage rate. Why? Women's rights. It's to gut women's rights. It doesn't have anything to do with traditionalism or caring about the outcome of the kids. It's about undermining the rights of women. Because they want to bring it back. What did we show earlier? What did we watch earlier? Matt Walsh talking about how 14-year-olds and 16-year-olds, it's the best time. You're the most fertile when you're 16 to 24 years old. Oh, we used to get married so much younger. When parents got married when they were 16, their marriages lasted 50 years. Neglecting to mention that the reason they lasted that amount of time was, well, a lot of them were eventually just fucking accept it because they had no way to go anywhere, because they couldn't even draw a fucking credit card. They had less rights. They had less access to upward mobility. That's why they didn't leave. It's because they were fucking trapped. They had nowhere else to go. The people who actually have empathy for you, if you allow us to, will be the left. You looking for people who aren't hypocrites? Call up a socialist. Call up a libertarian. Or, not libertarian, left libertarian, I guess, but call up a communist. You know, ignore the whole, oh, you make money, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we have to. Because we're not stupid. We know that we can't starve. We talk about how capitalism is exploitative as fuck. That's the exploitation. It's coercion. We have to participate in this society or we fucking die. But we're not hypocrites for doing that. We're just trying to survive. Yeah, people like you like to talk about all the champagne socialism. And yeah, that pisses me off too. That shit pisses me off too. People need to actually live by their values. I believe you. I agree. But you ain't finding that among Republicans. And the majority of people who believe in socialism and communism are fucking poor. You just don't hear from them. Why? Because they're fucking poor. Who gives a voice to the voiceless? Think the news media is going to have an actual communist on? When have they had that? I'm not talking about the people that you call a communist. I'm talking about the people that will unabashedly say, yes, I am a communist. I am a socialist. Who do they have? The closest they have is Bernie fucking Sanders. And even then, he caters his message towards liberals. Because he has to. Because that's the society we live in. This society, the voters, the people that actually run the society, are not ready to have that conversation. They do not want that conversation. Because it undermines the complete fundamentals of what capitalism is said to be. And it exposes it for what it is. The thing that people don't tell you, Christian, about like Marxism and books like Capital, is that their goal was not to take people over and indoctrinate people. Literally, those books, all they do is talk about what capitalism actually is and how it actually functions. And it's on display today more than anything. The only time they have communists on air is if they're doing street interviews of social uprisings, and they always spin it like we're out of our minds. Yeah. They'll call somebody who is a fucking Marxist-Leninist an anarchist. And they'll say anarchist as a derogatory term. Renegade Cuts did a great video on that. So yeah. Christian, if you are looking for people who aren't hypocrites and actually have some sort of empathy for you, I empathize with everything that you're going through, everything you went through with your dad. I do. I do not empathize with all this public airing of your dirty laundry. I don't empathize with you on that. You want to know why? Because you got in his corner so fucking fast. You jumped on TikTok and you started, boosting your videos to get a conservative audience as, hey, look at me. I'm the gay black conservative. I'm one of the good ones. I do not have any empathy for that, because you're just throwing people under the bus. You're throwing gay people under the bus. You're throwing black people under the bus. And all in the process of hating trans people who you have no issue throwing under the bus. That empathy comes with a cost. And that's your empathy. You have to have it. You have more than enough money. You will always have more than enough money. But most people in this country will never be able to make enough. Ever. And it's only getting worse. And it's those policies that you support that have caused it. The Flint water crisis wasn't to blame for by fucking Democrats not finding money out of nowhere to rebuild our complete infrastructure. That infrastructure was built after mass federal investment. Federal investment. During our most productive time. During a time when the middle class actually was fucking something. What the fuck are we supposed to do when we were a city circling the goddamn drain? What investment were we supposed to come up with? We were struggling to get investment to repair the dilapidated buildings in our downtown, to the extent that they started collapsing in the middle of the fucking street, in the middle of our main street in downtown. What the fuck are we supposed to do? What the fuck were we supposed to do? How were we supposed to get blood from that stone, Christian? It was disinvestment by the federal government, by the state government, led by Republicans, led by conservatives, led by neoliberal policies, of which Donald Trump is one of them, and your dad and every single Republican that you want to vote for, that you defend, backs. You don't want to pay taxes? Boo fucking who? Because there's people who can't even afford to fucking eat, and their house is falling apart. They're facing eviction. They're facing their car being repossessed. And not because of anything that they did. Not because of anything they did. because that's what they were born into, and that's the deal. That's the cards that they've been dealt, and they did everything they fucking could. So yeah, the cost of moving over to the left is that your empathy has to exist for people who aren't you. You want our empathy? Give it to others. Don't forgive your dad. Fuck him. Call him out for the hypocrite he is. Call him out. All of them out. All the same. Hunter Biden's laptop. This is what I keep pointing out. If you're going to send Hunter Biden to jail over what's on his laptop, fine. Cool. I got you. You want to send Joe Biden for all that too? If there's something that implicates him, fine. Whatever. I don't give a shit. Hillary Clinton too. Lock her fucking away too. But you know who else has to be right in that cell with them, who was far worse than all of them at the nepotism game, at stealing government secrets, at using the office to personally benefit them, to run a scam on the entire American people? Your boy, Donald Trump. Why hasn't he announced his run for president yet? It's because he's got lawsuits, and if he announces that he's running for president by what is the FEC? Is it the FEC or SEC laws? He then has to take all those donations he's been getting, no longer use them for his legal fund, but use them for his campaign. That's why he hasn't announced, because it's still a scam. So on the left, you will not find hypocrites. You will find empathy. But you may not find empathy for you until you start showing some empathy yourself. I feel bad about what you went through with your dad. I don't feel bad about what you're going through now, because you're still helping him. Because all those Republicans are all the same, and you're still pushing their message. Like somehow they're fucking different. Like there isn't more people on the right who have been convicted for being known pedophiles. A lot of the ones that will come out and call trans people pedophiles wind up getting caught with, you guessed it, a little boy. Empathy is a two-way street. You want us to care about you, you have to start caring about us. And that is the true bridge to the left. Empathy. It can't stop and end with wanting people to feel bad for you because of what you went through. It has to be you also care about others. And if you can't do that, guess what? You're going to continue to feel like an alien in the Republican Party, and you're going to continue to look at the left and how we treat each other and being like, why isn't the Republican Party treating me like this? And you continue to see that, and you will get none yourself. There's no empathy on the right. Their ideology is built on not having it. Built on hating people. You may not like that, but that's the truth. Built on telling people that it's simultaneously their fault for the conditions that they live in, but also blame people who are poorer than you, because them being poorer than you, they're doing something inherently wrong that is holding you back. Personal responsibility, except for when you can blame the people who are worse off than you. That's not empathy. It's not caring. That's not personal responsibility. That's all the same thing that you're saying of your dad. Hypocrisy. Let us know when you're ready. All right. I needed to vent a lot. And I need to get my son his lunch. He's losing his mind. It's a crime to be poor, don't you know? Yeah. It is. So we're gonna, on the Twitch side, we're gonna go ahead and raid, and on the YouTube side, we're gonna go ahead and end. I don't fucking know. Let's go, James. All right, guys. I appreciate you. If you're subbed, go ahead and do that. Any last minute subs to hopefully hit the sub goal. Good and losers, we're going rating. Yep. And follow me on my social media. I'm going to be continuing the drive to hopefully earn raise enough money to pay our car payment. We are now a third of the way there. We need, well, a fourth of the way there, actually. Excuse me. We need $400 in order to make one car payment. Yes, I know it's really high. We've been trying to get our credit straight so that we can refinance. But if you can donate, exclamation point dono, or go to my Twitter and look for the post that I've made that links directly to my PayPal. And I'll keep everyone updated. Once I hit that money, that $400 to cover that expense, I will ask for no more, except for, you know, the subs and all that for this and that and the other. I will ask for no more. Okay? I'm not trying to run a grift here. I'm unemployed. Oh, shit.
Shit, yo, Wolf Clan, I cannot imagine having to get this fusion 3